everybody, and welcome back to 5-Minute Maths with Mr. Smythe Maths. So today's session we're going to be looking at indices. So I'm not going to go through the full whack of things, I'm just going to give you the basic rundown for today. So for example, let's say we start with multiplication. So let's say we've got a to the power of 3 multiplied by a to the power of 2. Now these questions are really easy to do, but a little bit more difficult to understand why they work. So let's think about a cubed. Now a cubed means a times by a times by a. Okay, then a squared is just going to tell us how many times we're multiplying a by itself, so that's twice. But then we can see in total I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them multiplied by each other, so I can simplify that to a to the power 5. Now a lot of people, they make this mistake and they just say, well, it's a to the power 6 because that says times, so I times them. That's not what happens. When it comes to indices, multiply means add, but obviously it's not as simple as that. But what it means is that if there's a time symbol there and these two letters, or maybe there's a number there, is the same, then we're just going to add the indices there. So to really hammer this home, let's say I've got b to the power of 7 multiplied by b to the power of 3. This is just b to the power of 10. If we've got something like c to the power of 10 multiplied by c to the power of, let's put negative 2. Some people really stumble over this one. So c to the power of negative 2, we're going to add the indices. So this means I'm going to do 10 plus the negative 2, which gives us 8. So this answer is c to the power of 8. And now sometimes we can even go further with this. So sometimes you might get a question that looks like this. It might say 5a to the power of, let's say 6. I'm just making stuff up now. 6 a to the power of, I don't know, 7. Let's do this. So with this one, let's do the numbers in front first. So 5 times by 6 gets us 30. This isn't an add part because this is in front of the letter. Okay, and then we can say, because I've got multiply and they're both with a's, this is 6 plus 7, and this gives us a to the power of, what would that be? Is that 13? Yes, it is. That's a to the power of 13 there. Okay, so I'm hoping that makes sense to everyone. Let's have a look at division now. So this is the same sort of thing. Sorry to interrupt you, just give me 1 second of your time, hit that subscribe button. Okay, so let's have a little look. So let's set things up then. So let's say, for example, I've got a to the power of 3 divided by a to the power, let's go a to the power of 2. So a cubed, what does this look like? Well, this looks like a times a times a. Okay, divide, we can put this as a fraction. A squared means a times by a. But now with this, if I've got an a divide by an a, that just gives us 1, so nothing really happens there, so I can cancel those out. Because if I times by a, then divide by a, it ends up being the same thing, so they can cancel. Then cancel, and I'm only left with a on its own. If I've only got the 1a, it's to the power of 1, so this is a to the power of 1. So now we can build up a picture of what happens. So divide means we're subtracting the index, okay? So if I had something like b to the power of 7 divided by b to the power of 3, we're going to get b to the power of 4. Okay, and this is one that tends to trip people up. C to the power of 10 divided by c to the power of 2. Quite often people end up putting this is c to the power of 5. It's not. Divide means take away. This is c to the power of 8. Okay, but then what happens if we put a number in front of the letter? So let's say I've got, and again I'm just going to make some stuff up. So 15c to the power of, let's say 7 divided by 5c to the power of, I don't know, let's say 2. So let's do the numbers in front of the letters first. So 15 divided by 5, well, that's going to give us 3. Keep the c the same there, but then divide means we're subtracting the index, and that's going to give us c to the power of 5. So then that would be your final answer there. Would that be right? Let me just double check it. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 7 take away 2 is 5. So yes, that would be the correct answer. Okay, so we've done multiply, which is add, and we've done subtract, which is take away. Now let's take a look at the brackets, and people seem to really struggle with this concept. So a to the power of 3, all to the power of 2. What does this mean? Well, a cubed we know means a times by a. And then squared means I want that thing times by itself. So if a cubed is times by itself, well, that looks like this. A cubed times by, apologies for my handwriting, a cubed times like this, okay? So I'm timesing it by itself, like this, okay? So you can count the amount of a's that are being multiplied by itself, and you can see it's 6. So what would be the rule here? The rule would be we're timesing those two together, okay? So let's do a couple of questions. Let's say I've got c to the power of 7 all to the power of 2. Well, that's c to the power of 14. Let's say we've got d all to the power of 6 all to the power of 3. Well, that's just going to be d, oh, let's see there, that's going to be d to the power of 18. So we're just multiplying those two together. So most people seem to be relatively happy with this, okay? But what happens if we do this? Let's say I've got 4, let's do 4a to the power of 3, all squared. Now, what I tend to get students to do is just tackle the a part first. So we know we're going to be timesing those two together to make this read a to the power of 6, okay? But now, I want you to pretend that this isn't here. How would you now read this? It now just says 4 squared. So 4 squared is 16, so this 16 gets put there. So essentially what we're looking for is, we're saying we're doing everything inside this bracket squared. 4 squared, 16. A cubed squared gives us a to the 6, but we know our shortcut, we can just times those two together. Okay, I'm hoping that is okay for everybody for today. Maybe the last one I'll do, just before I go, the last one is, if I've got a to the power 0, anything to the power 0 is 1. B to the power 0 is 1. 2 to the power 0 is 1. So anything to the power 0 is 1. But what tends to happen, you might see something like this, 7a to the power 0. Well, I know that a to the power 0 is 1, and I know that 7a means 7 times by a. So this is saying 7 times by 1, which is 7, so that would be a final answer. So, I don't know if I've gone over time there, but that's where we'll stop for today. Just want to give you guys a quick reminder that we have weekly maths sessions, and your first lesson is absolutely free to try. If you're a higher tier student, your membership would include every single higher class. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4 possible classes. So there's about 4 hours of learning you can join, and you can join one a week, you can join 2, 3, 4 weeks, up to you. Same with foundation, you can join the foundation ones here. You've got 4 to choose from. There's a crossover topic, and that's all for £75 a month. And as I say, the first one is totally free to join. Okay, everyone, thanks for joining today, and I shall see you guys in the next one.